Well, from politics on one side of the pond to our side of the pond, last night the Reform UK leader Nigel Farage insisted that footage showing racist comments made by a campaigner was a set-up.
Yeah, Andrew Parker was seen making a series of offensive remarks about Rishi Sunak. He's apologised, but insists he was goaded into making them.
Well, Rishi Sunak condemned the racial slurs made against him and said it was part of a broader pattern of behaviour.
Let's talk to senior political analyst at the Orthodox Conservatives, David Moore. David, what do you make of all of this claim from Nigel Farage? And we've seen sort of what this is based on. It's all sort of doing the rounds on the internet, that this man was, in effect, an actor being paid to do a job.
So firstly, these were abhorrent and horrible comments, but we must understand that in this Channel 4 documentary, obviously there's stuff that has come to light, whether this person is indeed an actor. Indeed, he is an actor online, if that's the same person, and if so, was this a stitch-up? Now, we have seen a record of a number of Reform candidates who have said some pretty horrible things. However, Nigel has, the Derbyshire Dales Reform candidate who's been struck off, action had been taken there. Now, I don't think Nigel is a racist. I think Nigel is certainly opposite of that, and he did a lot of work to drive out the BNP earlier. I think this person, if true, if that is a stitch-up, is very poor behaviour from Channel 4. Because when you look at the video, it does seem at times that this is kind of almost a bit scripted. So more investigation has to happen on this, because quite frankly, Channel 4, they have been doing this before against right-leaning and conservative candidates, trying to stitch them up. So, I think we need to find out a bit more.
Yeah, but even if it was scripted, even if he was goaded, it's still totally inexcusable, isn't it? He shouldn't have said those things.
Absolutely. And the thing is, why on earth was he allowed to canvass for them and wear the rosette as well is the other big question. So I think there's more to it, and we really need to kind of get a full investigation into it.
It has to be said, though, we were saying this yesterday, this has been slapped down very, very quickly by Nigel Farage and his team. And we do know, because Reform is very new in that sense, that it doesn't have that sort of structure in place to do the vetting that other parties are able to do.
Well, this is the thing, as someone who, has applied for the list before within the Conservative Party, there's such thorough vetting that goes on these days. But because of a snap election, you have a situation where they recruit so many candidates. But what's happened in this election is a lot of Reform candidates compared to other parties, especially compared to other parties like the Conservatives we've seen, have made the most, comments spanning from, Putin is our friend, to other comments regarding about having low IQ of some of the other ethnicities. So, there have been some quite, pretty awful comments made. I understand when you're selecting over 600 people for parliamentary seats, in a matter of weeks, it is a quick process. But let's be honest, a quick vetting process is not hard. Equally, what I would also like to say is, we don't want politicians and statesmen to be completely moulded into a certain way to the point where their past has to be squeaky clean, to the point where, they have to have no, prior experience in other areas. We need to have talent, especially on the right, whether it be the Conservatives or Reform. But equally, we do not need to have bigots in our political world. And it's very, very easy because there's lots of people that want to get on and apply for parliamentary seats who are decent people, regardless of whether they're Reform or Conservative.
Or Labour or Lib Dem or Green.
Or all of the other above, yes. Indeed, just to be fair.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, David, thanks very much indeed. Responding to Mr Farage's claims of a stitch-up, a spokesperson for Channel 4 said, "We strongly stand by our rigorous and duly impartial journalism, which speaks for itself. We met Mr Parker for the first time at Reform UK's headquarters, where he was a Reform Party canvasser.
We did not pay the Reform UK canvasser or anyone else in this report. Mr Parker was not known to Channel 4 News and was filmed covertly via the undercover operation."